And so guys, today we're going to start with lesson number 5. As I said to you before, it's going to be the solution lesson, the solution unit. And we are going to cover this time the first half, the first part of unit number 5. Next week, we'll cover the second half or the second part. So today it will be, we're going to cover like comparisons and superlatives. So today you are going to, to review a little bit about it, right? You're going to review, you're going to see how this works. You're going to see maybe if you have a doubt, if you have questions, and you can solve them today. So I'm going to ask you to be very attentive. And if you have any question or inquiry, just, stop me and just ask the question, right? Shoot the question so I can give an answer to it. That's what I want. I want you to have this clear, to this topic completely clear. That's my plan today, right? So, well, let's get started. So this is what we're going to be working on today. Just want to ask you whether you can see the screen or not. Can you see the screen of my computer? Can you see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
All right, great. Hang on, give me a second because something went wrong. I think you're not seeing it anymore. Can you see it now? Yes, you can.
Yes.
All right, great.
Yes.
So, as I said to you before, guys, we're going to work on comparative and superlative. Before starting, I want you to tell me, how do you feel when it comes to using comparatives and using superlative? Do you know how to use them? Do you have any problem? So how do you feel with them? How do you feel with them? Do you know how to use comparatives, how to use superlative like in the correct way, the correct form? Or do you need like review itself? We're going to teach, going to teach you today how to use them. But the thing is that it's not going to be the normal thing. It's going to be like kind of different. So is there anything that you would like to say before we start, or we can just get down to it? Can we just get down to it then? Well, I guess we can. You're saying nothing, so I will assume that
I don't have any problem using comparative or superlative. To me, it's easy.
It's easy, right? All right. So we're going to review it today, but I'm also going to give you some extra things maybe, because I know sometimes I know it's easy. This is an easy topic, but at the same time maybe a little confusing and complicated, especially when we need to think on like the adjectives that have one syllable, two syllables, the exceptions and stuff like this. So this is what we are going to try to cover today. But before going on the lesson itself, I want you guys to work a little bit on, on reading. So if you have your books handy, please open them up and go to page number 56. Page number 56, unit number 5. And we have here the name of the unit number 5, part 1, which is low-tech solutions. Now, before started, let me begin with the first question. So, do you know what low-tech is? Like the meaning of low-tech could be? What do you think? Maybe just by seeing it, maybe you don't know the answer, or do you know the meaning? But by seeing that, what do you think it could mean? What do you think it might be? Low tech. Low tech. So what do you think that, guys, mean? Any idea? Or you have no idea?
Baja tecnología.
All right, if you translate it like that, like literally, you may have like some opinion or some idea, but yes, low tech means baja tecnología. But what does baja tecnología means? Actually, it means like things that do not, things that do not require much technology, right? Like, remember when, well, maybe you don't because you were born in this period of the time in which technology is very important, but some time ago, like if you ask your parents and you ask them, Daddy, how did you make homeworks? How do you do homeworks when you were in school or when you were in the university? How did you investigate? How did you research, right? So if you ask that to your parents, maybe their answer is going to be, hey, we didn't have internet, we didn't have information handy, we needed to go to the books, right? Like the physical books itself, and we needed to go and learn from books. Maybe we needed to go to the library and look for a specific book so we could get the information that we were needing, right? So stuff like that, and those are low-tech stuff. So this is what we are having here, like low-tech solutions, things that do not require technology. So right here, we have some questions in the first part of the reading. Work in pairs and discuss the questions. We're going to discuss these questions without, these questions that without reading the article that we have just right here. And we're going to try to work on exercise 2 and exercise 3 too. So let's go over the questions first. So question number 1. For these questions, I want you guys, I'm going to ask you the questions, but I want you to answer them like with your own opinion, right? I want you to think about it, like listen to the question or see the question, because I know that you're seeing the questions right now in the books and also on your screens. But I want you to look at the questions, understand the question, listen to the question, and also give your opinion towards the question, all right? So here it is, question number 1. It says, in general, do you like or dislike new technology and gadgets like ebooks, tablets, and phones? So what do you think about this? Do you like or don't you like ebooks, tablets, and phones? So what do you think? What is your opinion about this first question that I have for you right here? What's your opinion, guys? Or what's your opinion? Do you like technology?
Teacher,
Yeah?
I like them a lot. I'm not addicted, but I feel like they sold me life in any ways.
So it makes your life easy, right?
Yes,
Okay.
because if I want to know the meaning about something,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I want, I can do it. I can research the information.
You can research for the information, right?
For
Yeah,
the information.
that's great. Very good, miss. And what do you think about this kind of things? Take a look at the questions. Like, what do you think about ebooks, tablets, and phones? Do you like them, or you just don't like them? What do you think about those? Like ebooks, tablets, and cell phones.
I think then could be um, like a way that I can find information. Maybe if I don't have a computer, I can research information, or if I can talk with someone, I can do it too.
Okay, so that's great. And how about the ebooks? What do you think about ebooks? What do you think is better? Or what do you think are better? Ebooks or physical books?
Physical
Okay.
books.
All right, Miss Maria, why do you think physical books are better than ebooks?
I think that the physical books is better because you can concern in that is in my case I think that is better because I can read so better. In the e-books, I think that I can read so much and I get sleep.
All right, so you fall asleep in front of a screen. Maybe for you it's a little more
In
tiring.
the phones, I like so much phones because, for example, in this case, I don't have computer, and with the phone, I can connect
Connect.
with the class.
All right, that's great. So technology is good, right? Because I mean, it makes our life easier, as Miss Valeria said. It makes our life easier, right? Like in case of information, we have the information here. I mean, this is just a matter of going to Google or to Mozilla Firefox or whatever, any of these browsers, and just type in the search box whatever we want to know about, and a lot of information is going to pop up, right? So yeah, whenever it comes to searching for information, is good. In the case of ebooks, as you're saying, Miss, I agree with you, Miss Maria. I don't like ebooks very much, right? I don't like them because it's a little tiring. It's a little, I mean, it's not the same than when you have your physical books in your hands and you can just like, you know, move from one page to another. You can, I mean, you can see the book, like you can leave what the book is like, right? So yeah, maybe other people have different opinions. So what do you think, guys? Other people different than Valeria and Maria who gave their opinion and that were very good opinions. What do you think? Or do you still think the same? Ebooks, I mean, are they better than physical books? What do you think? What do you think, guys?
Uh, Mr. I agree with my partners because
Yeah,
I think that the ebooks are good. It's a way easy to read, and but I think that have a book in your hands is better. I can't in my uh, to me I can't put my all attention in an ebook because I don't can concentrate out. But when I have a book in my hands, to me it's more easy, and I think that I really learn something or put all my attention in the book.
exactly, Miss. Now to correct you, for you it's easier, not more easy, right? This is what I was trying to say, right? That sometimes, you know, we think it's easy to use the comparative, but we made a mistake because we're thinking in Spanish, and that's the problem, all right? So it's good there, very good, Miss. I think I agree with you because maybe when you are, let's see, you are reading, let's say you are in your cell phones, you're reading a book, an ebook, right? But maybe you can get, I mean, your concentration can get pulled out by another thing. Like for example, maybe you get a WhatsApp message, or you get someone testing you on Messenger on Facebook, or either on Instagram, right? And then you are just going to stop watching it there because I mean, you know, it's
Yeah,
not going to be the same. You're going to be, your concentration is going to be, um, it's not going to be in one thing. Actually, it's going to be like separated into different things.
yeah,
And yeah, I don't like that. I think I agree with you. Very good opinion, Miss. I liked it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Question number 2. Just give me a second. All right, so let's get going. Question number 2. Can you think of a way in which technology has made our life better or worse? Well, according to what Miss Valeria said, right? Technology has made our lives easier, right? So better for some in some, like, to call it that way, right? Like in calling it that way. But do you think, maybe, do you think that technology has made our life worse? Now, what do you think? Give me maybe your opinion. So what do you think, guys? What do you think? Is there, like, can you think of a way in which technology has made our lives better or has made our lives worse? What do you think? I want to
Mr.
have your, yes, miss.
has made our life better. For example, now in quarantine, we like technology is the only way that we have to continue with our normal lives.
Yes, very
For
good.
example, now we are having virtual class, and yes,
So if we
better.
would, if exactly, that's better, right? Because if we didn't have technology, we wouldn't be able to be attending classes virtually. So we just had to stay home and no class, right? So we had to stop and not continue with our normal lives. So yes, very good, Miss Bonfante. That's great. But is there anybody who could tell me maybe technology has made our lives worse? What do you think?
Is there?
Yes, Miss
Well,
Madeline?
I don't think that technology has made our life worse, but the way that people use it,
Very good.
we can tell that is they use it in a bad way.
Okay.
Um,
So progress is never a bad thing, right? Have progress in life, in this case, we have progressed in technology is not a bad thing at all, right? The bad
Right.
thing is how people use it. If people use it for the good, then you're going to have good results, right? It's going to make your life better. But if you use it for something bad, right? Then it's going to make your life worse. It all depends on how you use it. So I agree with you, Miss Madeleine. Very good. Now, in my case, I may give you guys that I might think that actually I think that technology has made our life better. Actually, our lives are better now because we have technology. But somehow I think that we have, I would say that maybe we have been, now we are a little lazier now, right, than before. People in the past wasn't that lazy. Now we're lazier because of technology, because we have the information right there. People in the past, people in the past, they always, people in the past, they always, they had to go outside to look for information. They needed to go to different places. They needed to investigate a lot so they could get the information they needed, right? But now we just need a computer. We just need a cell phone so we can get the information. So we don't need, it is not necessary for us to go out there to get the information because the information is handy. So maybe it's making us feel lazier. Also, something that I don't like about technology, I like it and I don't like it at the same time, is that it's communication, right? I like communication because take a look at this, right? Right now we are communicating and we're having a class. But something, and that is something good, but something bad is like social media, like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and so many others that are actually making people drift away from each other, right? They are like making people separate even more and more and more, right? And I don't like that. Have you seen like people, like kids in the past, they used to gather together and they played, they ran, and they did a lot of things, right? But now you see little kids in a reunion, even us, because this is happening to us too. We are all gathered together and people just want to be using their cell phones, right? They just want to be all the time immersed in technology. So again, it has good things and bad things, right? So good. How about the third one? The third question, it says, are there any problems that technology has helped to solve? Is there any example that you have? Or maybe, yeah, is there an example? How about that? Problems that technology has helped to solve. For example, my example is this class an example of it?
Yes, of course.
It is, right? So technology has helped to solve the problem of having
because
classes. Yes,
we
because
can go outside and technology help us
to stay
uh,
connected.
connect with the teacher.
Exactly, to stay connected, to keep in touch, right? Yes, that's right. Can you think of any other example, maybe a different one from? Yes.
Mister, I have other opinion. Help the world of work and school. People continue with online jobs and stay in touch. Another example can will be that we cannot go to the library and we can use virtual books.
Exactly, we have virtual libraries, right? Yeah, like something I'm saying that I don't like reading. I don't like I don't like reading books virtually, like ebooks. I don't like it, right? You're great, Miss Becerra. I agree with you too. But I have my personal, for example, I have my personal virtual library, I would say, right? About English. We have so many books of English in a PDF file, right? Also, I have French, German books. I have dictionaries. I have biology, mathematics books in English, right? And I like those things. So take a look. Even though I don't like to read books like this, I have my own virtual stuff. And now that I just can go out and get it, I can get it from here, right? So yes, you're right. Very good, miss. So people, let's continue here. For this now, we're going to read this. You can read it from out your books or you can read it from out your screens because you are seeing it right here, right? So this is an article called low tech solutions, right? So here we have one picture, 2 pictures, and 3 pictures. In picture number 3, we have 2 people who are reading books, physical books, right? Here we have a picture in which we see a group of children playing. And also we have, in the first one, we have a carriage, right? That is being pulled by some horses. So, but we call it here a theater. Actually, and this is a motion theater actually, because you can move it from one place to another. So meet the slow theater. So these are some solutions that people have invented, low tech solutions that people have invented to make people's life easier, as we were saying before, right? Now, I am going to choose, or volunteers if you want to do it too, 3 people. Number 1, or the first person is going to read me the slow theater. Number 2, the second one, the carousel water pump. And the third one, bus stop libraries in Bogota, right?
Teacher, I want to start.
Okay, but before we start, I am going to read this part, like the intro of this article.
Okay.
And this is going to happen by the time we are back again. The section is going to log off now. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes break, all right? And after those 15 minutes, we are back and we start with the reading, all right? Okay, guys? 15 minutes break.
Okay.
All right, so take a look. It's
Would you
2:40.
tell us again?
Can you tell us what? So this is where we left off, right? So as I said to you, I am going to read the intro, and I'm going to need 3 people. I'm going to need 3 people to read the 3 paragraphs that we have right here, right? Like the 3 different tests that we have. Right?
I said that I wanted, teacher.
Okay, you were Valeria, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start then. I want you to be completely concentrated so that you can answer the questions after that. And please, I am going to check how you're going to read, how beautiful you read, all right? And be careful with the words in the past form, especially the regular ones in which you need to use the ed, t, and d pronunciation. All right, so let's get started. Why is it that people seem to think that the newest technology is always the best? From high-speed trains to high-speed internet, you could be forgiven for thinking that faster is always better, not to mention more efficient and more economical. Now, we decided to investigate a few simpler, more low-tech solutions to the world's problem. So, let's see. Miss Valeria is going to be number one, right?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Valeria, please read. And again, I am going to be checking your pronunciation, so I may correct you in the moment so that you can correct the pronunciation of the words that you mispronounce.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Meet the slow tier.
Theater.
Much of our popular entertainment these days is action-packed, expensive, and based in cities.
All right.
So the Rural Academy decided they wanted to offer an alternative. Sure, in the United States, they take a horse-drawn theater and a bicycle-powered silent movie on the road with them. They want to celebrate and call attention to life in more rural locations, in opposition to what they see as the global urbanization of our culture, economy, media, and art. By using a carriage pulled by horses rather than vehicles that runs on
Okay.
gas.
Okay.
They offer less expensive, low-tech alternative entertainment, which they hope will include more people and move at a slightly slower pace.
Hey, so very good, Miss Valeria. That was beautiful.
Okay.
Great. All right. Who wants to come on the next one? Who wants to be the next one?
Sure.
All right, go ahead, Miss.
The carousel water pump.
The carousel water pump. All right.
Access to a clean water supply
Supply.
is still one of the biggest problems for the people living in a rural village. In
Village.
Asia
All right.
and Africa,
Hang on, Miss. Hang on, Miss. For people living in rural villages.
villages.
All right.
And to try to solve the problem, a company in South Africa has invented a way to use children's high energy levels to help pump water from underground. The plate pump is a water pump that is powered when the children use the carousel. As the inflated water is pumped from below the ground.
All right, it's pumped.
Pumped from below the ground into a storage tank. Before the pumps were installed, many young girls had to spend hours of their day walking to collect water. Rather than going to school with the new pumps, however, the girls don't need to miss school, so they get a much better education.
Very good, Miss. Very good. It was excellent. All right. Hey, this is a very good idea. A very good low-tech idea. Good, Miss. That was great. Now, who wants to read the one on Bogota?
Miss, I want to read.
All right, Miss Maria, go ahead.
Bus stop libraries in Bogota.
All right, libraries, right?
The invention of the e-book has meant that books are now slightly cheaper and a lot lighter to carry. But in Bogota, Colombia, they had a far better idea for helping people to read on the go.
Great.
The city wants to improve the asset. Wanted.
Okay.
The city wanted to improve the access that young people had to books. But now, by buying new tablets, they decided to install colorful books libraries around the city. In the parks and at boot stops, what could be better than to sit in the sunshine and read a book while waiting for your bus?
For your bus.
For your bus.
All right, very good, miss. It was great too. Now,
Thank you.
well, as you can see, well, I have never been to Bogota because I don't like Bogota much, so I have never been there. But so I can say that this is really happening. Maybe it is, or maybe it happened once, but well, it's pretty much interesting. Like when you are going to wait for the bus in the Transmilenio, and you can buy, and you can like in the Transmilenio, you can find some mini libraries in which you can take books and then read till you, I mean, till your bus comes to you. That's a pretty much interesting idea. Pretty much interesting idea. All right, everyone understood because it was pretty much easy. So let's go over the exercise 2. Take a look again. Look at the prompts below. What information do you think could go in the blanks? These are the blanks, right? To describe the problems. Use the pictures to help you. These are the pictures right here. Then let's see number 1. A new tends to make things faster and more efficient.
Technologies.
New technology trend. All right, but why not? Possible. Popular entertainment, theater, movies, music, concerts, music concerts, exhibits is often and based in cities. It's often what?
Expensive.
It's often expensive. Yeah, why not? 3, in many villages in Asia and Africa, access to is still a huge problem. Access to what?
Clean water.
Access to what? Take a
Clean
look.
water.
To clean water, yes, clean water. 4, the citizens of Bogota, Colombia, wanted the young people to have more access to
Read.
read, right? Yeah, to read or to books itself, physical books actually.
To
Now
read
let's,
physical books.
yes, so let's see the answers. Take a look, the first one. Then yes, we got technology, expensive. You say clean water, so acceptable, that was good. Book, readings, or literature. So all the answers are good. Very good, people. So let's go on the next one. Next one is over here, 3. Answer the questions. Here we have some questions. Let me see. How is Rural Academy, a slow theater, different from other theaters and company? Now, this is something that according to the book, you can answer, right? This is not something that you may find in the book because you have the idea. I'm sorry, not in the book, in the article. You may have the idea in the article, but you can also give your own opinion. So how is the Rural Academy or the slow theater different from other theaters company? Take a look at the picture and remember what it is. Look at it. This is the theater that they get. How is it different from other theater companies? Any idea of what you think? Any idea, any thought, any opinion? Like,
Maybe they during the United States.
okay, or maybe, for example, this theater is less sophisticated than other theater, for example. I mean, this is a good idea, but not a very sophisticated one, right? So stuff like this. How about number 2? Why might people living in rural areas appreciate this type of theater? What do you think? why might people in rural areas might appreciate this kind of theaters?
Is
Yes?
cheaper
Than other theaters, right? Maybe because it's cheaper than other theaters, good. Or maybe because they don't have access to other theaters, so having a theater coming to those rural areas is easier, it's even better, right? So good. How about number 3? How does the play pump, this one, right? The play pump help children to solve the problem of access to water? How does the play pump help children to solve the problem of access to water? This is here.
With the carousel.
All right, with the carousel, right? So they invented, because this is not a real like a normal carousel. Actually, it's a pump, right? Where they get water from, but they need to work very hard on them. So they invented a low-tech solution like this, like creating a carousel in which little kids could play, and at the same time, while they were playing around the carousel, they could get water at the same time. So that was pretty much I would say smart, clever, right? Good, miss. How about number 4? How has the pump changed the life of the young girls in particular?
Mister,
Yes.
they don't have to spend long hours trying to pump water, so they can go to the school.
Exactly, right? Because they took a lot of time pumping water, pumping water from out of the ground, and now they can have school time, and also they have playtime, right? So yeah, very good, Miss Madeline. It was great. 5. How has the invention of the ebook changed how people read? What do you think? How has the invention of the ebook changed how people read? Do you think that ebook has like changed people, like the way people read itself? I mean, we spoke about it before we started on the test. We said that ebooks, I mean, you were saying that ebooks were maybe, I mean, some people thought that they are good, some other people thought that they were not that good, right? Because maybe it was a little tiring. But what do you think? Maybe here, has this invention changed people's life, like people's way of reading?
For people that hate read, it, it could be a good option.
Yeah, right. Because people who hate books actually, and they
Yeah.
read because they read. I can say they read, but they read on their phones because they like to have, I mean, to have their phones on all the time and be working on their phones and be using their phones on or manipulating or handling their phones all the time. Maybe ebooks are a good idea. All right. But yes, yes, good. And the last one, where have they put the new libraries in?
Mister, I want to answer it.
All right, go ahead, Miss Maria.
They put the new libraries around the city, in the parks, and at bus stop.
And in bus stops. Very good, miss. Very good. So guys, take a look. As you can see here, we were like speaking a little bit about the differences between two things, like comparing things, right? So in page number 57, right, we have finally our grammar of today. We have comparative and superlative. But before going on the on the grammar itself, before going on comparative and superlative, let's review the grammar rules, right? I know you know them because you told me that you were so perfect on, I mean, yes, you were so perfect on comparative and superlative that you were excellent on this. So let's see how excellent you are actually. So remember that like the basic idea of this is when we have like adjectives with one syllable and adjective with 2 or more syllables, right? Like when we have comparative and we have superlative, now for the adjective with 1 syllable and the comparative form, what do we add? Let's see if you remember.
ER.
We add ER, right?
Yeah.
Do we add more? No, we
No.
can
No.
add more because they have only 1 syllable. How about the superlative form? What do we add?
EST.
EST at the end of the adjectives. Very good. How about the second rule? It says with 2 or more syllable adjectives. In the case of the comparative, what do we add?
More.
Great. And in the case of superlatives?
More.
Most.
The must. All right.
The must.
Very good. Very good. That was great. Now, take a look. Let me just hang on. All right. Look at the sentence below and complete the rules with a small or big. These are the rules below. We use number 1, use quantifiers like a lot, much, or talk about differences, and the quantifiers a little, bit, a little bit, a little, and slightly to talk about difference too. But you need to put down here either a small or big. But let's first read the sentences here. A, entertainment has become a lot, much, or far more expensive. What does, and technology has made books a little bit or slightly cheaper. Now, what do you think in the first one? What is the intention? Is the intention of something big or the intention of something small?
Something big.
So I would say that the use of these quantifiers, right? The use of these quantifiers right here,
Big
we use big because a lot, it shows you that something is, you know, is a lot, is big. Much, the same thing. Far, the same thing. In the case of a small, when we're speaking about a little, right? Like a quantity, a very little quantity. A little bit and slightly, which are pretty much similar to. Now, the difference right here, guys, and this is something I want you to take into account. Maybe you have seen this before, like a lot, like in this example here, a lot more or much more or far more. What it actually means in Spanish is like mucho más. Remember that when we have the normal comparison, we say just algo es más que otra cosa, ¿cierto? That's the normal comparison. Like yo soy más pequeño que Juanchito, right? Más pequeño nada más. But if I use other words, like to make it feel like, to make my sentence be more emphatic, right? Be stronger, then I can use these quantifiers like a lot, much, and far. That at the end, what they mean is mucho más. Todos estos significan mucho. Incluso far en esto, que far, ustedes saben que significan lejos. Far, en este caso, significa por mucho, right? Entonces, the idea is that these quantifiers, they are, when these quantifiers are followed like this by more and then an adjective, the intention is like mucho más or por mucho más, right? That's the intention. In the case of this one, poco menos, yeah, poco menos or mucho menos, right? That's what it is. Like even the intention of like intensity, this is like they are trying to, even though they are quantifiers, when they are followed by a comparative like this, or like this, more expensive and cheaper, right? When they are followed by those comparatives, those quantifiers become more like intensifiers. They make your speech or your idea or your sentence more intense, more emphatic, right? So I think this part is good. You did it very good. So there's no problem. So let's try to do this exercises down here before we start on the review of comparisons and superlatives. So there you go. Number one, let's do it all together. So the invention of the bicycles made it. You have to use the two words that are in parentheses. Lot easy for people to travel from one village to another and meet new people. So what do you think the answer is?
A lot
Easier.
A lot easier. Very good. So the invention of the bicycle made it a lot easier for people to travel from one village to another and meet new people. Very good. Number 2. We have to, again,
Savior.
the word has become a what? The word has become a, complete it please.
Much safer.
A much safer place to live since the invention of the antibiotics. People are
Far healthier.
far healthier than 10 years, 100 years ago.
100.
Yes, 100 years ago. Very good, very good. 3, the invention of the washing machine has meant that it is
A lot quicker.
a lot quicker for people to wash their clothes. So I think it's
The best invention.
Better.
the best
Sorry.
invention of the century, of the last century. 4, although we have computers, paper is still,
Cheaper.
Cheaper.
take a look at it again. Paper is a lot and way to record the written word.
Cheapest.
All right, is still the cheapest and
The flexible.
¿cuántos
Flexible.
no, ¿cuántos tiene? ¿Cuántos sílabas tiene la palabra flexible?
The most
Flexible.
flexible.
Flexible. So the most flexible. Very good.
Flexible.
5, electricity is
More important.
Is the most important.
the most important invention, because without it, many people, many of other things, we have not, all right, what is that? We have wood. Something is weird here, right? There is something weird here in the book. Without it, other things wouldn't have been possible. Something is weird. All right. Number 6, the invention of the telephone and the computer have meant that we are
Much
Busier.
much
busier.
busier. Yes, now than we were in the past.
The past.
Very good. So far you're very good at competitive. So there's no problem, right? So far, no problem. So this is going to be more like a review rather than learning something new. However, I hope you learned something new from from today's topic. All right. So let me share with you. Just let me give you over here. Can you tell me what you see, guys? Are you seeing the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. All right. So again, this is the comparison stuff, and let's begin by doing a very short exercise of it all, like the one you were using before. Take a look at this table right here. These are like in this chart, we have some bars. Take a look, bar 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are ones that are tall, other ones that are short, right? So take a look, short bars and tall bars. So bar 1 is taller, take a look, than bar 3. Yes, right? It is visible. It's taller than bar 3. How about this one? Bar 3 is taller than bar 2. Of course, again, it's visible. And how about here? Bar 1 is shorter than which one?
Bar
4.
4.
Than bar 4, right? And how about this one? Is the shortest of all?
Bar 2.
Bar 2 is the shortest one of all, right? So you already know how to do this, and this is the basics of it. So in order to start, we're going to start with the comparison as S. Can you guys tell me what the meaning of this first type of comparison is like, what is the meaning in Spanish when we say as? What does it mean?
It is tan como.
All right, tan,
Tanto
Como.
como.
very
Tanto
good.
como.
Oh, tanto como, yeah, tan como, tanto como. That's good, right? So take a look at this example right here. We have Jan is known as old as Emma. This is Emma, and this is Jan, right? Take a look. She's pretty much young, and she is pretty much old. So, can someone please, a person, translate this part to me?
Jen no
Yes,
es,
Miss Jenny no es tan vieja como Emma.
Very good, right? No es tan vieja como Emma. Good. This is a different way of comparisons. We are comparing two things, but we are using a different structure, as, right? You already know this, but let's continue working on it. So we have two here. Take a look. We have a pair of boots, and we have a pair of shoes. So the boots and shoes are size 11. The boots are as large as the shoes. All right. What is this intention here? What is it telling you there? ¿Qué les está diciendo a ustedes esa oración acá? La dos, right? Bueno, ambas son de la misma talla. So the boots are as large as the shoes. What is the intention of this sentence right here?
The same.
All right. There is
Comparative the same.
all right. There is a balance. There is always like, I mean, it is not unbalanced, all right? It's actually pretty much balanced. It's equal, it's the same, right? Even though it is a comparison, y bueno, ya sabemos que una comparación normalmente es decir que una cosa es más que la otra o menos que la otra, o una cosa es más que lo right? Eso es una comparación como tal. Sin embargo, aquí también estamos haciendo una comparación, pero de igualdad, right? Donde dos cosas son parecidas. Balanceadas, son iguales. So this is the case right here where the boots are as large as the shoes. Now we have this example right here. Take a look. The chef cuts the onion as finely as he can. Can someone translate it to me, please?
El chef corta los ajos tan finamente como él puede.
All right, tan finos como él puede, right? Las cebollas, good, the onion. Good, so take a look. We can use as for talking about equal parts when something is balanced, right? Again, and also we use the structure as, and in between, we can use two things. We can use large, like an adjective, and in the case of finally, an adverb. Sorry, so we can use adjectives and adverbs in between this set of comparisons. And different from the normal comparison, not even, I mean, it does no matter if we have adjectives or no matter if we have adverbs, we don't need to add ER or EST, right? Only the normal form of the adjective or the normal form of the adverb. That's clear, right? Is that clear?
yes.
Yes.
I just don't want you to make that confusion there because I know sometimes might be a little confusing that some people use like the comparative form here. No, it's just like the normal form of the adverb or the normal form of the adjectives. So let's continue. And we have.
Profe, quiere decir que
Yes.
se adapta a cualquier palabra que uno ponga en la mitad. Si uno pone largo, es tan largo como, si pone pequeño, es tan pequeño como, así.
Exacto. Aquí no tienen que seguir ninguna clase de regla de cómo es, como las comparaciones. Que, ajá, si tenemos un objetivo que tiene una sílaba, pues teníamos que agregarle ER, ¿cierto? Aquí no. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos usando la estructura as. Y aquí lo único que usamos es la forma base o la forma normal del adjetivo o del adverbio. No vamos a cambiarlo, no vamos a añadirle más nada.
Profe, y en caso de negación, como el primer ejemplo, se coloca la negación antes del as.
Exacto. Ya le vamos a ver un ejemplo. Aquí tengo un ejemplo. Take a look. This is the example. We have here two pictures. Here we have two mountains here. So Annapurna Mountain and the Everest Mountain. So the Annapurna Mountain is, take a look, we have the verb. Now, in the negative form, you just need to have, you just make it negative by making the negative form of the verb, right? In this case, I am using the verb be for making this comparison. So I can use not, but always before as, right? So not in the middle, before it. So Annapurna is not as high as the Everest. Take a look. Are they the same? No, they are, because the Everest is 8,848 meters, and this is 8,091 meters, right? So this is higher. So this is not as high as the Everest, right? Then we have here another one. It's just like the contracted form with isn't, but we're adding a different word. What is the word that we're adding? Quite. What is the meaning of quite here? It gives the intention, like in the same, I told you before, like a lot, far, and much. They give the intention of something like intensity, right? That's what they give actually. So the same happens here. Annapurna isn't quite as high as Everest.
No es lo suficiente.
No es tan grande, significa lo mismo, o es aquí, aunque de pronto la traducción en español sea realmente la misma que la primera traducción, right? No es tan grande, no es tan alto como el Everest. Quite lo que indica es intensidad, de que realmente el Everest es mucho más alto que ¿cómo es? Bueno, que el Everest en este caso es un poquito, no mucho, sino un poquito más alto que la Annapurna. Ya les explico exactamente en ejemplos para que lo vean. So, I have here another example, but with a different mountain. This is the Annapurna, and this is the Fuji. Take a look. This is no difference, right? Take a look. The difference, there is a difference in height, right? But it's not like very much. Maybe they are very high both, but the difference is not very much. How about here? Is the difference a lot or not? Yeah, it's a lot, right?
Yes.
Is 5,000, right? The difference is 5,000 meters. So take a look here. Fuji isn't, we have another word, nearly as high as the Everest. So, in other words, we use not as in the negative form and not as quite as to speak about, yes, once again, a negative form, but to speak about a small difference between the comparisons, right? A small difference, like in the example, remember? Is this a big difference? No, right? It's a small difference. Take a look. It's almost the same, kind of. And here we have a big difference, right? So we use quite, not quite as for small differences, and not nearly as for big differences, right? O sea, esto lo que quiere decir es como el monte Fuji no está ni cerca de la altura del Everest, right? Es decir, la diferencia es muchísima. So that's why we say nearly. Yes, miss?
Solo se puede usar en la forma negativa.
Lo puedo usar también en la forma positiva, pero puede cambiar el sentido. Así que vamos a eso, ya se lo voy a mostrar. Right? In the case of the negative, here is only the negative form. As for the negative form, this is what it is. Nearly means a big difference, and quite means a small difference, all right? Now, take a look at this. The books are just as large as the shoes. This means the same, right? Now we're using the word just, and this is an affirmative sentence, as you were saying, miss. This is an affirmative sentence, but we are using just. What is the intention here of just? It's just, again, intensifying that they are the same large, right? Now, the skates are nearly or almost as large as the shoes. ¿Qué les quiere decir esa oración si ustedes la traducen? Ahora estamos usando nearly nuevamente, right? Y hace un momento nearly, negativo, era una gran diferencia. Pero ¿qué le quiere decir esta oración ahora si lo uso de manera positiva?
Casi.
¿Hay una gran diferencia o una pequeña diferencia?
Pequeña.
Pequeña.
Small.
Una
Pequeña.
pequeña diferencia. Entonces, dependiendo de si lo usan en negativo o positivo, podría cambiar bastante,
Cambiar.
de hecho mucho, podría cambiar mucho la intención.
It's like ni cerca or cerca.
Exacto, right? Just like this. It's the same thing that we use in Spanish. So the skates are nearly and almost as large as the shoes. Great. So this is clear, right? So just to speak about exactly, to say, I mean, to give the intention to intensify that it's just the same thing. And in the case of nearly and almost, to speak about a a small difference between them, right? And they both are modifiers. Great. So let's practice a little bit to see how you understood. Now we have in this picture, we have an antelope, right? And we have a cheetah. Take a look. A cheetah runs 95 kilometers per hour, and per hour, and the antelope 95 kilometers per hour. So they are equal.
Just.
They are the same. So I can use just. Why not? So how can you just do this here? An antelope can run
As
As
Just
fast as a cheetah.
all right, as fast as a cheetah, or just as fast as a cheetah if you want to make it more emphatic, right? More intense. If you want to, to intensify it more. So yeah, very good. How about here? We have a leopard here that runs 90 kilometers per hour. And here, the cheetah again that runs 95 kilometers per hour. So a leopard can run
Nearly as fast as cheetah.
No.
all right.
As
Why nearly? Because we are using here, this is an affirmative sentence, all right? This is an affirmative sentence, so we use nearly. If it were negative, then we needed to use quite.
Quite.
All right, nearly, as fast as. We can also use, instead of nearly, we can also use almost. Very good. Now, another example here. This is for the negative. Take a look. A leopard can run.
Quite as.
All right.
as fast as.
Very good, right? Because this is, so let's continue then where we left off. So again, this is negative, right? So we use quite. And it shows a small difference or small
Difference.
Yes, all right, very good. Now let's continue. And let's continue. This was a practice. Now let's continue on the explanation. So comparative and superlative. Now both of them at the same time. So take a look at this. A feather is lighter than a brick. Who can translate that into Spanish, please?
Una pluma es más ligera que un ladrillo.
All right, very good. Una pluma es más ligera que un ladrillo. Y aquí estamos usando, take a look, the normal or
comparative.
Yes, the normal comparative, where we have light, which is one syllable adjective, and we add er plus that. Very good. So far, so clear. We have the following examples again. A feather is lighter than a brick. We know that. And then feathers, like here, and bricks are lighter than horses and trucks. I mean, of course, right? How about the following example? Horses are more beautiful than trucks. That's also very nice. Now, what happens here? Here we have the normal form, take a look, and also the other form of the normal comparison, which is the one used with more. In this case, beautiful is an adjective that has how many syllables? Beautiful. It has it has three syllables, so we need to use more. You already know that. So we can go faster over here because you already know it. We have other examples, but this time it's not going to be an example on comparative. Remember that you always need to use than, because if you don't use than it's going to be incorrect, right? And on the other hand, the other example is going to be examples for superlative. So take a look at this. The purple box, this one down here, is the longest box, or is the longest of all boxes. Right? Is the longest of all the boxes. Here, 1, 2, 3. This is the longest one, right? we're only speaking about one. Even though we are making distinctions or we're comparing all of them, we just care about one of them. In this case, the purple one. 2, the brown box is the biggest box in the group. Again, we are talking about the group, but we just care about one of it, right? One of them, which in this case is the brown box. All right. And as this is just the normal form, this is, you know, like a short adjective with only one syllable, then we add est, and it's always accompanied by the. So you already know that, right? So for the superlative, we only speak about one in a group or one of a group. You already know this. So we have this other example here. Again, Mount Everest, right?
Teacher, largest is a synonym between longest.
Largest is a synonym of big. I mean, large is a synonym of big.
Okay.
All right. So over here, we have the following example here. The Everest is the most massive mountain in the world, right? As you can see here, we have the most. Why the most? Because we have an adjective that has 2 or more syllables. In this case, massive, 2 syllables, right? So we are using the most. You know how to use this part right here because you told me, you showed me actually. So for the superlative, we add est for the short adjectives, for 1 syllable adjectives, and most for 2 or more syllable adjective, like in the case of massive. And remember that here we always use, we always accompany either est or most with the all the time, right? We always use it. So let's see. Let's practice here. Take a look here. Tell me whether it is correct or not. So jazz is the more beautiful music in New Orleans. Is that right or not?
Not.
No.
Why
no.
not? Why not?
Because it must be superlative, no comparative.
Exactly, right? So more is not correct. We are only speaking about one thing. So jazz is the most
beautiful music
in New Orleans. All right, very good, miss. Now, how about this one? The most famous jazz in the world is from New Orleans. Is that right or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good, right? That is right. Now, how about this one? I like jazz more better than rap or salsa.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Absolutely.
And how is the correct form then?
I like jazz better than rap or salsa.
All right, you can use better or more, but no both of them together, right? But not both of them together. You can just put them together there. Okay, very good, people, very good. That was excellent. Now, let's continue, but this time, let's see that I'm going to show you like itself how to use the adjectives and the other stuff. So take a look here. So this is the rule. 1 syllable adjective. How many adjectives does this word have? Old. Old. Only 1, right? So the comparative form is going to be old. And the superlative? The oldest. Good. How about here? Wise. Wiser. The wisest. Now remember, this has only 1 syllable. Why 1? Because remember that the E is mute, is silent. So we don't say wisey, but only wise, right? So wise, wiser, and the wisest. Good. So we use, for this kind of adjectives, we use ER and ES in case, EST in case of the superlatives. Now, those adjectives that have 2 syllables, like for example, famous, 2 syllables. So we say, for the comparative, more famous, and for the superlative, the most famous, right? Then we use here the most, and here we use more. Other example, we have the word pleasant. How many syllables? We say pleasant, right? 2 syllables. So more pleasant for the comparative, and the most pleasant for the superlative. This is how we use it, right? Clear, I think. So far clear because you know this. Let's continue. Now, we get some, you know, we always get some exceptions. We have some exceptions here. We have some exceptions. And those exceptions are the ones that, for example, those two-syllable adjectives. I just said that the two-syllable adjectives, like this, hang on, like this, we use more and the most, right? But these are also two-syllable, but why don't we use more? Because they finish in Y. All of those two-syllable adjectives that finish in Y, like in the case of busy, we change Y by I and add ER. And the same thing happens for the superlative. We change I by I and add EST. So busier for the comparative and the busiest for the superlative, right? Pretty, prettier, and the prettiest. So this is what happens then. The N, I mean, when we finish again in Y, we change it by I, and then we add ER for the comparative and EST for the superlative. So we have other examples, like for example, crazy. We say crazier. We don't say more crazier, right? We say crazier. We say in the superlative then, the craziest. Or for example, happy, happier, and the happiest. So we have different things, and it's always like this, right? When they finish in Y, you add, I mean, you change the Y by an I and add ER in case of comparative, and change the Y by an I and add EST in case of the superlative. Okay, did you already know this? And here we come to the ones I call problematics. Let's call them problematics adjectives. There you go, problematic adjectives. So troublesome adjectives. This is how I call them, troublesome adjectives. Why are they problematic? Let me show you. For this kind of comparative, or sorry, this kind of adjective that are two-syllable actually, guys, we can use the one you like. You can use the one with ER or the one with more, only with these ones. I mean, you can not use it, for example, with busy. You cannot say more busy, or you cannot say, yeah, you cannot say more busy. Here, you just say either clever or cleverer, in the case of clever, and more clever on the other hand, right? So the one you like is good, it's good. So inteligente, más inteligente, el más inteligente. You can say clever, cleverer, or more clever, the clearest or the most clever. Sorry, the cleverest or the most clever. We also have the word gentle. It works in the same way. So gentle, gentler, the gentlest, or gentle, more gentle, the most gentle, right? So the one you like is okay, you can use it. We have another example here. Friendly. Oh, take a look, friendly. It finishes in Y, like this. But this one belongs to this group too, because you can use two versions. Again, friendly, friendlier, and the friendliest, or friendly, more friendly, and the most friendly. The one you like, it's okay. Now, there are more. I'm going to show you the others. Let me write them down for you. I'm going to write them right here, all right? So we have the words, for example, clear, clear. What is the other? Quiet. Stupid. Clear, quiet, stupid. And the other one, hang on. Let me check it out on my notebook because I forgot. I'm forgetting one. And the other one, we got another one here, handsome. Let me see, let's come on. And the word polite. Listen, these words right here, these adjectives right here, they are also two syllable adjective, like actually, well, clear, quiet, stupid, polite, and handsome. And they change, or they have the same idea right here. So for example, in the case of clear, you can say clearer, like this, clearer, or more clear. All right, let me do this like here so I can continue. And right here in the superlative, we can say, hang on, something is missing. Here, the clearest, the clearest, or the most clear. Let me open some more here. Okay. In the case of quiet, then you'd say like this, quiet, quieter, or more quiet. And here, the quietest, let me see here. And the most quiet. All right, you can use Sam like this. This one, I like it very much the way it sounds, like, I don't know, for some reason. It sounds like a stupider. It sounds good for me. Stupider. All right. And the other one is more stupid. Guys, please write these examples so that you can have them all completely. And the stupidest. And the most stupid. And the most stupid. In the case of polite, then we have politer, or
more polite.
Yes, more polite. And right over here, the politest.
The most polite.
Yes. The most, hang on, polite. And lastly, this sounds weird. Actually, it sounds a lot weird. Handsome, right? We can say handsomer. Sounds weird. Handsomer. Where is it? All right, it's here. Handsomer and more handsome. This is like the most common one. And here we use the handsomest, and the most handsome. Handsome. Okay. Did you copy this? Or are you copying this? Oh, I need more water.
Yes, wait.
All right, just take your time and copy it, because I know that this, you can use this. I mean, you need to know this group of adjectives. They are around, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 8. They are 8, yeah, 8. There are 8 different adjectives that are like this, right? So copy this along with the clever, gentle, and friendly one. Please let me know when I can continue, when I can, you know, show you more info.
Ya mandé una fotico ahí en el grupo para que la vieran.
Okay, great. And these are the others, right? These are the others that I was saying before. Ah, come on, here. Gentle, that you need to copy it to in the group. And friendly, that you need to copy it to in the group, right? So how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 adjectives that can use a double version, right? So anytime that you want to use any of these adjectives, you can use the one you like. No es uno de que uno es más formal, otro es menos formal. No, de pronto lo que sí hay que ver aquí es la frecuencia con la que se usa. Es decir, de pronto las personas en el caso de clever usan más more clever, aunque he escuchado a mucha gente también decir clever, right? En el caso de gentle, he escuchado decir more gentle, right? Es más comúnmente. En el caso de friendly, pues mucha gente he escuchado decir friendlier and the friendliest, right? Y de los otros, bueno, esto ambos. Stupid, pues las personas tienden a decir more, digo, es más común decir more stupid, pero me gusta más cómo suena el otro. Y en el caso de polite, pues politer es la manera más común. Y en el caso de handsome, pues more handsome es la manera más común, right? Pero ustedes pueden usar lo que ustedes quieran, no necesariamente porque es más común o lo otro, no. Al final está bien dicho si lo dicen de una manera o si lo dicen de otra. So, is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, can I clear, like eliminate what I wrote? Can I clear it up? Or you're still writing? Can I clear this?
Yes. Yes, mister.
All right, let's clear it then. Here it is, all clear. And well, we can use either, the one you like. And here we have other adjectives with 3 or more syllables. Well, these are pretty easy because you know how to use them. They are always with more and the most. So important, 3 syllables, more important, and the most important. Fascinating, more fascinating, and the most fascinating, right? So you can use either of them as well, the most and the other. And now we have irregular adjectives. In English, we have, I think, 2 irregular adjectives, right? They are good and bad. In the case of good, the comparative is better. And the superlative, the best. You know this. In the case of bad is worse, and the superlative,
the worst.
Worst, right? Those are the irregular ones. The irregular, yes, miss?
And far?
Far is not an adjective, it's an adverb. I will show it to you in a minute, right? Don't worry, I'll show it. So these are irregular, and you know this one, right? Now, also we have more adjectives, like the ones that finish on "ly," like carefully, we say also more carefully, and the most carefully. Or slowly, more slowly, and the most slowly. So you can use them just like this as well. Now, as these were the adjectives, now let's speak about the adverbs, the ones that I was just telling you about. So in adverbs, like for example, fast, you say faster and the fastest. I mean, it follows the same rule. This is 1 syllable adverb, and you add er and est. And for 1 syllable adjectives, as I told you before, we also add er and est, right? So it follows the same structure, the same grammar. Hard, harder, and the hardest. The same structure, the same grammar. All right, and then we have irregular adverbs. As for the irregular adverbs, we have well, that becomes better, and the best. We have badly, that becomes worse, yes, worst and the worst. And finally, the one that means, I don't remember who said it, right? Far. Far can have two different ones, two different options. Farther, like in the first one, and further. Farther and further. And for the superlative, the farthest and the furthest. All right, the farthest and the furthest. But there is a difference here, and I want you guys to take a look at it. I'm going to write two examples. The first example is hang on. So my house, better. My house, are you serious? My house is farther than, how do I use that here? Take a look. My house is farther than Maria's. And your okay. We have here two examples. My house is farther than Maria's, and your graduation is further than mine. Here, guys, what do you think is the difference? Is there any difference? Is it the same? What do you think? Can you see any difference here?
The first one is about distance, and the second one is about time.
Very good, right? So even though they are pretty much interchangeable, you can use farther or further for any reason. We normally use farther, right? We normally use farther to speak about distance, right? To speak about distance from one place to another. And we normally use further to speak about time, like how long it takes one thing to happen after the other, right? So that is it. That is it, right? Is it clear?
Yes.
All right, if it's clear, then we can move on. All right, so let's have some practice here. Take a look at this girl. She's smiling and she was painting with her hands. She is Greta, and Greta is messy. But take a look at the man, Oscar, this little boy. Take a look at, she got dirty, but he's actually dirtier, right? But take a look here. What do you think? But Oscar is even
messier.
Messier. Very good. Messier. Very good. How about this one? We have the market. So the market is 4 miles from Rosa's house and 5 miles from my house. I live what? From the market than Rosa does.
Farther.
I live farther.
All right. Farther, right? Again, as I said.
Because it's distance.
Because it's distance. Very good. In the case of further is time, as I said before. All right. Very good, guys. So this was clear. Let's have more examples here, more practice. I have many pleasant memories from my childhood. The memory is going to the zoo with my grandfather.
The most pleasant.
All right, so the most pleasant memory is going to the zoo with my grandfather. Very good, master. That was excellent. All right, let's continue on another thing. This is still comparisons, right? Take a look at the picture. We have here a man who is smiling and a girl who is also smiling. The man is, take a look at the man's hair. He has curly hair and she has straight hair, right? So take a look. His hair is
Curlier.
Curlier than her hair.
Curlier.
Great. His hair is curlier than her hair, right? Normal. What happens here? In this time, this time we're going to speak about completing comparative. Maybe this is something you are not used to using a lot, because I know that whenever you use comparative, you use the informal way, because it's actually the form that you have been taught since you started the course or since you started learning English. Everybody has told you that the comparisons is just subject, the comparative itself, and then the object, right? That's it. That's the whole comparison. And yes, it is true, but we still need to complete the comparative so that it is more formal, right? Because you are using the informal form. So how do we use the formal form of it? Completing the last part. How do we use it? Take a look. Here we have a woman and an old man too. She is taller than her husband is. She is taller than her husband. Normalmente ustedes dicen sin el is, ¿cierto? So she's taller than her husband. That's it. Straight. Direct, to the point, right? Ella es más alta que su marido.
Ella es más alta de lo que su marido es.
Exacto, pero la manera más formal de decirlo sería, ella es más alta de lo que su marido es. ¿Cómo decimos esa manera formal? Solamente colocando, completando la oración, en este ejemplo específico, usando el verbo to be. So, she is taller than her husband is, right? Por eso está entre paréntesis. Si colocan el is, se hace mucho más formal.
Polite.
Yes, polite, mister. Thank you. It's much more polite or much politer. You know, remember, two options. Here, take a look. She is taller than he is. Is this formal or informal?
Informal.
No. This is
second?
the second one. This is formal. Why is it formal? It's the same than the first one, and we are completing it by using is.
Okay.
If we want to make it informal, then we use the following form. That is the form that you normally use, right? She's taller than him, and here it's more visible, like to see that it's more that is informal and more formal. So we use the formal form of the comparisons in English with then or after then with the subject pronoun, and we use the informal form of the English comparative after then with the object pronoun. Remember that object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it,
them,
us, and them, right? Okay. Those are the object pronouns. So these two up here are the formal way, and this down here is the informal way, right? Creo que es algo nuevo, ¿no? ¿No lo habían visto o sabían de esto? Do you know about this, guys?
No.
Right? This is something new. Formal English. Formal English, right? But this is just an example with the verb be. I mean, well, the verb be, because, you know, I always say that the verb be is the most problematic verb of all in English, because it's the verb that wants to do everything by itself. The negative form by itself, the questions by itself, but the rest of the verbs, they can do it by themselves. They have to do it using an auxiliary verb to help them, right? Use the negative form and the interrogative form. And this is what happens here. Cuando hablamos de estatura, en este caso estamos hablando, ella es más. Entonces estoy usando el verbo to be, por eso estoy usando acá el verbo to be. Pero nuevamente repito, esto solamente pasa con el verbo to be. Ya que si yo cambio esto, un ejemplo, es que no, eso no quiere decir que siempre vaya a ir is aquí. No. To give you another example, she is taller than I am, right? She is taller than I am. Ahora estoy usando el verbo to be, pero en su forma, en la forma primera persona, right? I am. También puedo decir, she is taller than you are. So puede ser cualquier forma de be siempre y cuando te esté usando acá el verbo to be, right? Now, the other forms, the ones I was telling you, like the rest of the verbs that are not the verb be, that are not the modal verbs itself, that they can work by themselves, the rest of the verbs that they need help of auxiliaries, the form to make it more formal, or the way to make it more formal is like this. Take a look at the two pictures. The girl is studying and the man is just wasting his time watching TV, right? So she studies more than he does. She studies more than he does. Take a look. I am using the word study here, the verb study. But what happens in the second part? Am I using study here? Like, she studies more than he studies?
No.
No, right? I am using does. Why don't I use study here? Because first, it's not common. It's not like proper English. Sorry. And in this case, what you have to do is always use the auxiliary verb. So if the sentence is in the present, you use you have to use the auxiliary verb of the present. In this case, does or do. If it's in the past, did. If it's in the present perfect, have or has. In the past perfect, had. In the future, will, right? So on and so forth. You always need to use the auxiliary verb, right? Now, take a look at this. Again, another example. This one is in the past form. She got a better grade. She got a better exam grade than he did. Again, got, obtener, ella tuvo, right? So, if you translate it, ella estudia más de lo que él lo hace. Ella estudia más de lo que él lo hace. O en otras palabras, ella estudia más de lo que él estudia, right? And ella obtuvo una mejor nota que la que él obtuvo. This did está haciendo referencia a get. All right? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's continue. We have after then, we have the subject, and we use the auxiliary verb. Y esta forma es formal. ¿Cuál sería la manera informal de esto, chicos? De la primera, por ejemplo, she studies more than he. What is the informal way?
She studied more than he. No,
She studies more than him.
Than him.
All right. Lo mismo en la segunda. She got a better grade than him. All right. That is the
informal way.
Thank you. Informal way. So over here we have the same thing. We continue, but this is not like actions here. We are talking about now possessions, and something similar happens. So again, we have the two people, the two young people here, the young couple, the man and the girl. And it says like here, his hair is curlier than hers. Su cabello es más enrolado que el de ella, right? Or his hair, her hair, in this case, is longer than his. Or you can also use his hair is curlier than Kate's. Este ejemplo también lo coloqué yo, si no estoy mal, en el ejemplo de further, right? De farther and further, donde recuerden que esto es posesión. Se refiere a el de ella. ¿El de quién? El de Kate's. All right? So, let's practice a little bit before we log off. So, Mr. Paulus can carry heavy boxes. I can't. He is much stronger than
I am.
Than I am. Very good. Than I am. How about this one? Mr. Paulus can carry heavy boxes. I can't. He's much stronger than
Me.
Me. Great. Mr. Paulus can carry heavy boxes. I can't. His arms are stronger than
My arms.
That mine are, right? You can also say my arms are, right? You can also say my arms are. Why not? It's also possible. So is this part clear? Do you have any question, guys? Is this part clear?
Yes.
Okay. So take a look. We are 1 minute away from logging off. One more time. Let me see, what time is it? It is 4:12. I'm sorry, 4:16. After we log off, I'm going to give you a 10 minutes break. All right. And after those 10 minutes, you gotta be back here. So the section is going to log off at 4:17, which means that you gotta be back at 4:27. All right, guys?
Okay.
Okay, so you can go on your break now. Go to the break. 10 minutes break. I'm gonna write it on the group so that you don't forget it. 4:27. All right, so let's continue, guys. This is where we left off, all right? Mr. Paulus is very strong. This is the example we have now. But now we're going to speak about modifying comparatives. This is something we did in the book, right? This is something we did in the book. But we're going to cover it again because I just don't want you to make mistakes in here. So take a look. Mr. Paulus is very strong. Here I am using the word very, and this is what I don't want you to make the mistake in, right? I just don't want you to make this error that actually people make it very often. So I just don't want you to use it. Take a look. My car is very old. They walk very slowly on icy sidewalks. Now, what do they have in common? What these two sentences have in common?
I'm ready.
Here in both sentences, we are using very. Good. But are they comparisons? Are they like comparative sentences? Are they comparative sentences? Like, can you see any comparison here?
No.
There's actually no comparison, which means that, please, when you use very, do not use, we don't use very with comparisons. We only use very with normal sentences, right? We only use very with normal sentences like the one we're having here. Yes, we are using very with an adjective, like in the first example, and we're using adverbs, like in the second example, right? With very, yeah, but these are normal sentences. Now, this is what I want to tell you. Please do not make this mistake. For example, my car is very older than yours. This combination, very and older, the comparative, we don't use it to modify the computer. To modify the comparative is actually incorrect, right? You cannot use it. So very with the comparatives, no, you cannot use it. And you can also use very with any kind of comparative with adverbs, right? So remember, we only use very for normal sentences, no more. All right, and which are then the modifying words that we use to modify the comparatives? They are much, a lot, and far. I already told you because we saw them on the book. We can also have the following. Way. Way can also be used, right? So I can say, Irina is much smarter than I am. Irina is a lot smarter than I am. Or Irina is far smarter than I am. Or Irina is way smarter than I am. All of those four are, as I told you before, they give like intensity on this, right? It says like mucho más, like en este caso, el ejemplo, mucho más inteligente que, right? We also have other examples. Let me show you here more examples. Then reads much faster than he used to. Dan reads a lot faster than he used to. And Ran reads far faster than he used to. I can also say it again, come right here and say way faster than he used to. I mean, I can also say it like this, right? So these are the words, guys, way, far, a lot, and much. These are the words that we use, that we can use together with a comparative to modify it, like to make it more emphatic, to make it more intense, right? I think that's clear because this is something that I need to tell you about this. So let's delete my drawings and let's continue. All right, so this is what I was saying. Well, remember that when we use much, a lot, far, and way, as I told you, they give an intention of something. What is the intention that they give? Of something small, or I mean, of a small difference or of a big difference?
Big difference.
A big difference, right? And this is actually what happened with this. It's the same thing. But what is the thing that, what is the difference or the thing that we have when we use a little bit, a little or slightly that we had in the book? It gives a small difference, right? So you say Jake reads a little bit faster than I do, small difference. And Jake reads a little bit faster than me, the same thing, but informal, but again, small difference, right? So this is all the same, and these are other modifiers. So let's practice here. Take a look at these two pictures, beautiful pictures. This is like spring and this is winter. So very much. Trees are more colorful. Much what? Much more. Good.
Much more.
Much more colorful.
Because it's a comparative.
It's a comparative, so we use much more. We can use not very, right? Very only for the normal sentence.
Very is normal.
How about this one? The weather is?
A lot.
Alert.
All right, a lot. Good. A lot warmer than in the spring.
Spring than in the winter.
How about this one? The weather can be?
Very.
Very.
This is a normal sentence, right? So I can use far. It's a normal sentence. All right. Very, very good. After content. Okay. So now let's continue on this part right here. Now, unclear comparisons. I mean, this is what I was telling you, that to make it, you know, like more formal and less formal. They are sometimes in English, they tend to be unclear, but actually people understand those sort of things pretty much. Like in this example, take a look. This is the normal way we use comparatives. Mindy likes music better than her mother. This is normal, right? But we consider this an unclear comparison. Why is it unclear? Because it's incomplete. And as I told you before, to complete this kind of sentences, we need something else. What do we need? Let me see if you remember. I just said it.
The auxiliary.
The auxiliary verb. So can you just give me the complete version of this sentence right here?
Mindy likes music better than her mother does.
That her mother does. Very good. So Mindy likes music better than her mother does. This is considered to be clear, or in other words, as I said to you before, the unclear means informal and the clear means formal. Now, there is a second way or a second form, that is letter C, that is even more formal than this one, right? It's actually, I mean, it's much formal than the first one, this one, the one I already told you. But I recommend you not to use, if you want to use it, it's fine, but I recommend you not to use it because it's a little weird. Take a look. Mindy likes music better than she does her mother. This part right here is like a little weird. It seems not to make sense, right? Because you are using she. What is she doing here? When doing this set of sentences, like to be more formal, it is necessary to use a subject and then the object, right? She is referring to Mindy and her mother, right? In this case. So again, my recommendation, use the first one. The second one, do not use it because it's not very much common actually. I have never, ever heard the person using that one, but it's grammatically correct, which means that if you want to use it, it's also fine. All right, take a look. Unclear, again, Mindy likes music better than her mother. Unclear, Mindy likes music better than her mother. Does. And the more formal version, this is like the normal version, and the more formal version, Mindy likes music better than she does her mother, right? That means like. So I already told you this, and let's practice a little bit. Let's see how you do it. Unclear or informal. He likes tennis more than his dad. What is the clear or formal version?
He likes tennis more than his dad does.
Than his dad does. Very good. He likes tennis more than his dad does. Great. How about here? Informal or unclear? She hugs her toys more than her brother.
She hugs her toys more than her brother does.
Very good, right? Even though here I wrote the other version, right? But it's okay, the version that you gave me is actually correct, right? So guys, Miss also very good. Let me see here. Let me continue the other using this one. Repeating comparative. This is also something that is pretty often used in English. Take a look at the example we have here in the picture, the little baby who seems to be happy. And take a look, it's quite cute, right? So the baby or that baby gets cuter and cuter every day. What are we doing? We are repeating the comparative, cuter and cuter. And why do we do this? I'm going to give you the meaning in other examples. Take a look at the man. He has a lot of work to do and he is stressed out. Take a look at his face. Now, my workload got heavier and heavier, right? More and more. My headache got more and more painful. So what are we doing here? What is the idea of using double comparative? The idea is to increase or express intensely, quality, and quantity, right? It's just to make it feel more intense, right? That's the only thing that you use it here. So if you want to say, my workload got heavier, I mean, it's fine. But if you want to make more emphatic, if you want to make it more intense, then you say heavier and heavier, right? You can say it, it's not a big deal. So let's practice here to see if you got it. How about here? We have these three options. Take a look at the girl. Her sneezes are getting
harder and harder.
All right, harder and harder to stop, right? Right. How about this one? Mindy is playing the piano.
Better and better each day.
All right, better and better each day. How about here? With airplane travel, the world seems to get
smaller and smaller.
All right, smaller and smaller every year. So very good, easy, right? This only shows intensity. That's it. This is something new, I think. And well, this is also something new that you have that I think you did that I think you don't know. But let me see if you know. Using double comparative. In the previous example, we were repeating the same comparative. Now we're using double comparative. Can somebody translate this example to me, please? Translate it to me, please.
Entre más lo practique, mejor lo vas a tocar.
Very good. All right. So here, what we are going to do is we are going to have hang on. The combination, the more, the more. And what is the meaning of the more, the more? What Miss just said. Entre más, más, right? So, for example, entre más como, ¿qué pasa?
Más engordas.
Más engordas o más engordo, right?
O más engordarás.
O más engordarás, why not? So, this is esta clase de oraciones, entre más, más, esta es la forma en cómo se hace. The more, con doble comparativo. Aquí hay que tener en cuenta las reglas básicas que ya sabemos cuando un adjetivo de una sílaba y todo esto, right? En el caso de more, the more you practice, well, no problem, the better, right? En este caso sería well. So, the better you will play. The better, well, es un adjetivo, pero es irregular. Pero ¿cómo hago la comparación? Better, right? I'm going to show you in more examples so that you can see how it works. Take a look. The more I learn, the more I want to know. What does it mean?
Entre más yo aprendo, más yo quiero conocer o saber.
Exacto, right? Entre más aprendo, más quiero conocer o saber. Something important that you need to know here is this, people. Take a look. The comma. After the first, the more, and you finish with the first idea, you need to use a comma, and then you continue and finish with a period, all right? This in the case of right. Another example. The colder the weather, the better my dog likes it. What does it mean? How can you translate that into Spanish? How can it be translated?
Entre más frío está el clima, más mi perro le gusta.
A mi perro le gusta más, right? O más a mi perro le gusta, whatever, right? Very good.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's actually good. It's actually correct, right? So, this is what I was trying to tell you. Here I am using colder. ¿Por qué no estoy usando entonces the more? Si yo le estoy diciendo aquí the more y the more. Porque cold es un adjetivo que tiene solamente una sílaba. Y la regla dice que cuando tiene una sílaba se le agrega ER en el comparativo. Por eso no estoy usando
Mister,
acá. Yes.
¿y por qué coloca día delante de colder? Porque, o sea, colder es un comparativo normal. O sea, ¿por qué coloca la palabra di?
Nuevamente, esta es una expresión. Aunque es comparativo, es una expresión. Si te das cuenta, ni siquiera en español significa lo mismo. Entre más, más. Entre este de aquí da la intención de entre. Right? Aunque no signifique entre, si tú buscas en inglés, en el diccionario, eso no te va a aparecer jamás como entre. Right? Nada más como el, la, los y las. Ese es el significado de, right? Pero, en este caso, como es más que todo una expresión, ya es algo diferente, algo que tienen que aprenderse de memoria, así con esta estructura, de, en este caso, lo que significa es entre, right? Si lo traducimos en español. Significaría entre. So that's why decimos entre más yo aprendo, más este de more aquí es más. Aquí este de no significa entre, no significa nada, de hecho, nada más está ahí porque sí. I want to know. Right? Entonces, esto cambia es aquí. En el primer de tiene ese significado. Oh, pero en español. So the colder the weather, and all right, we have the following example here. The longer the line, the better the restaurant. ¿Cómo traducirían esta parte acá?
Entre más larga la fila, mejor el restaurante.
All right, entre más larga la fila, mejor el restaurante. Eso quiere decir que el restaurante es bueno. All right, so good. The longer the line, the better the restaurant. Right? No se vayan a confundir con esto aquí, chicos, así como me está diciendo Miss María. Porque, normalmente usamos de si la terminación de esto es EST, right? Para superlativo. Pero no, esto no es superlativo. Esto es comparativo, pero doble, right? Doble comparativo. Y traten de aprendérselo como esto. No es un comparativo normal, sino que aquí significa entre más, all right? Just keep it in your mind like that. No tiene nada que ver con el superlativo. So, let's continue. We have two parts here. Both begin with the, like, the first part is the reason, and the second part is going to be the result. So, the longer the line, that's the reason. Oh, the better the reason, the result, right? So take a look here. They are talking. They seem to be at a restaurant. They seem to be talking very romantically to each other. And she asks, why, should we ask Annie to sit with us? Sure. The more, the merrier. ¿Qué creen que significa eso allí? Esta es una expresión más que todo, pero sigue esa misma lógica. The more, the merrier. Eso lo que significa es como, aquí volvemos, entre más,
mejor.
Mejor. All right. Teacher, pero ¿por qué no puedo decir the more, the better? Sí se puede, pero no es la expresión, no es como ellos lo usan en inglés. Esa expresión, entre más mejor, all right, ellos no dicen the more the better, sino the more the merrier. All right. Entonces, eso es específicamente esta, apréndansela como una expresión, right? Y esto es lo que significa, entre más, mejor. So, let's continue. Should we ask Annie to sit with us? Sure. The more, the merrier. And then he says, oh, when? ¿Qué podría yo colocar si le pregunto cuándo? ¿Qué podría yo decir? Como...
Entre más pronto mejor.
Exacto, right? ¿Cómo sería eso en inglés?
As soon as possible.
No, eso es tan pronto como sea posible.
No.
¿Cómo sería entonces entre más pronto mejor?
The earlier, the... I don't know how to do that.
All right, no problem. Pero es similar a lot, right? The sooner, the better. Recuerden, pronto significa, usamos soon. So the sooner, the better.
Es una distancia de tiempo, soon.
Exacto, the sooner, the better. Después, aquí estamos preguntando por tiempo. So, hey, ¿cuándo quieres que se sienten con nosotros? The sooner, the better, right? Entre más pronto,
mejor.
Mucho mejor o mejor, right? So, is this clear?
Yes.
This is great, right? Like two common expressions. Take a look here. These are two common expressions. Having more people is fun. That's the meaning of the first one. And it is good to ask her as soon as we can is the meaning of the second one, right? So again, these are common expressions that people in the United States or people that speak English use, right? Common expressions with double comparatives. But you can also invent more double comparatives, like, for example, take a look at this. Those are delicious burritos, I think. I don't know. Here, if the food is tasty, we eat more. So, the tastier the food, what do you think comes afterwards? The tastier the food, complete it. The tastier the food,
the more we eat.
The more we eat. So, entre más deliciosa esté la comida, más comemos, right? Very good. How about this one? Good tools make a job easier. The better the tools,
the better the job.
The better job.
The easier the job. Or, Mr. dijiste the better, también posible, right? The better the job. But the easier the job is like, sounds like a little better, right? But yes, both are correct. How about this one? Big poles catch big fish. Do it.
The more poles,
The bigger poles
the bigger pole,
catch
the bigger
catch
fish.
bigger fish.
All right. The bigger the pole, the bigger the
Catch
fish.
bigger
The
fish.
bigger the fish.
The bigger the fish.
The bigger the pole, the bigger the fish. Entre más grande la caña, más grande el pescado, right?
Okay.
So I think it's easy. I think it's way easy. How do you think it is? Do you have any, do you need any more explanation? Do you have any question on this topic?
Mister,
Yes.
siempre se tiene que usar, por ejemplo, the bigger the pole. O sea, no se puede decir the bigger pole.
In this case, I am referring to one pole, right? I am, because if you are specific, if you are generalizing, for example, you can say the bigger the poles, entre más grandes sean las cañas de pescar en plural, entonces puedes quitar el the, right? Aquí no hay problema, puedes quitar esto, right? The bigger the fish, right? Recuerden que fish es una palabra incontable, no se pueden contar los peces en inglés, no me pregunten por qué, es en inglés, right? Don't say, so you never say the fishes, don't say that, right? You say fish. So, es eso mismo, right? Si en este caso estoy hablando de uno solo en específico, no de todos ellos. So, entre más grande la caña de pescar, right? De una sola, estoy hablando de una sola. Pero si yo me refiero a muchas, a todas, entre más grandes las cañas de pescar, entonces yo puedo quitar nada más el the y le coloco ese a poles. So, the bigger the pole, the bigger poles, the bigger the fish, right? Puedo usarlo de esa manera, siempre y cuando esa sea tu intención. Okay, I think, so this is clear, or you need any other explanation, extra explanation, or that's it? Clear?
Clear, mister.
Okay.
Clear.
How about, si yo les digo, ¿cómo sería lo que yo, la oración que les dije al principio? Entre más como, más me engordo. ¿Cómo sería eso en inglés? A ver, ¿quién me lo podría decir? ¿Quién me lo podría decir? Who could tell me how we could translate that? Entre más como, más me engordo. How would I say that?
The more I eat, the more I gain weight. I don't know.
All right, that's a good possibility. The more I eat, comma, the more I gain weight. Hang on, give me a second. Good. Más gano peso. Good. Pero como yo dije, más me engordo, entonces sería the more I eat, the
fatten. How about fatten?
The fatter.
Father.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Here, the fatter I get. ¿Cómo se dice engordar? No hay una manera en inglés de decir engordar. Right? We say get fatter, right? Or get fat. So this is the way I can use it. The more I eat, the more fatter hang on, the fatter I get. This is something wrong I'm using. Give me a second. All right, let me do it again. I'm going to write it to you again because I did it. Are you gonna let me do it? Hang on. Okay, I'll write it one more time because I did it incorrectly. The more I eat, right? So the more I eat, the fatter, I don't know why you say the fatter, I get. Now it's like this, the fatter, because I'm using, take a look. Aquí el adjetivo fat es de una sola sílaba, por eso usamos fatter. Así que no tengo por qué usar de nuevo The more, right? Porque estaría incorrecto. So, the fatter I get. So this is it, guys. This is a good version. You can continue inventing, you know, sentences like this if you want to, right? Now let's continue right over here. And well, guys, we are just about to finish. Almost done. We are going to work on the superlative one, right? For the superlative one. In the superlative one, right? We have the following. Take a look. Cape Town is one of the prettiest cities in Africa. Cape Town is one of the prettiest cities in Africa, right? Now, we are only here speaking about 1/10 of the group, as I told you at the beginning. So Cape Town is one of the prettiest cities in Africa. My friend is the most talented artist I know, and I have many jobs in my life. Being a teacher is the best job of all. What do I want to show you here? 3 things. The first thing is when to use in. Go ahead. The first thing is when to use in, right? Now, in the case of in, we only use it when we're speaking about a place. In the case of adjective clauses, we might have the second option. And in the case of all,
Teacher, could you repeat?
Yes, I will. Don't worry.
The internet sucks.
Don't worry, right?
Okay.
Listen, here. No, what happening outside there? I mean, for some reason, there are people singing outside. All right. So let's continue then. So Cape Town is the most beautiful city in Africa. Lo siguiente es, cuando nosotros usamos en español el superlativo, normalmente siempre usamos of. Si traducimos la primera oración decimos, Cape Town es una de las ciudades más hermosas de África, right? En español decimos de, but in English, we cannot say of. When we speak about a place, we have to use the preposition in. Like Cape Town is the most beautiful city, is one of the most beautiful cities in Africa. In, right? In the case number 2, Mary Paulus is the most talented girl I know. Now, this is just the normal version, right? We are not using any place. We are not using anything. So you don't need to use a preposition. This is only in the case of a place. And in the case of, because there is a possibility of using of, like in this place right here, I've had many jobs in my life. Being a teacher is the best of all, or is the best job of all. Here, when I say of all, what I mean is I am not speaking about a place in a specific. I am not speaking about anything in a specific. I am just being general about one thing, right? So in this case, I mean jobs. El mejor trabajo de todos los trabajos por haber, right? Cuando yo hago esa generalización, then I can use of all. Y es la única manera en que podemos usar of en preposición en un superlativo, right? So remember, in for places, of when you overgeneralize the whole thing, right? So here we have the following, and it's actually the same. This is to speak about something that, you know, is really, I'm saying more and more and more, in this case, the most. We can also speak about when something is very minimum, right? So Bradley went to 3 Italian cities. He said that Venice was the least expensive of all. Again, of all, right? What is this of all referring to here? It's referring of all the cities, is referring to all the cities in Italy, right? Not only the 3 cities that he went to, all the cities in Italy, right? So this is it. List and must are just the opposite. The must, but you know, is el más, and the list is el menos. So both, you can use it like this. One more thing that you guys must take into account is whenever we use one of here. Cape Town is one of the best places to surf. Whenever we use this one, the verb is always going to be the verb be. Why? Because you are speaking not about many places, all the places. No, you are only speaking about one place. In this case, Cape Town, right? So one of the best places to surf is Cape Town. Now, again, is. Why is? Because is not referring to places. Is referring to one. And one is referring to Cape Town, right? So this is something that you gotta take into account. I just don't want you to make confusions here, all right? To confuse yourself right here, to get mixed up. All right. So the singular and the other. Let's practice a little bit to say. So take a look at here. Judy is happy. She is the what? Complete
The
it.
happier.
The happier.
Happiest person.
The happiest.
In our class.
The happiest person
in our class.
In our class, right? Why in? Because we are speaking about a place.
A specific place.
Oh, I gave you the answer. I like all the seasons, but spring is the best of all, or is the best season of all, right? Es la mejor estación de todas las estaciones. Ahora, estoy nuevamente hablando, generalizando, ¿cierto? Por eso uso of all. Now, how about here, Mountain Everest? ¿Cómo sería este ejemplo? How would you
the
know?
most
Yeah.
majestic mountain in the world
Yeah.
is
Very good, miss. One of the most majestic mountains in the world is
Mount Everest.
Mount Everest. Very good, right? So this was clear, was it? Was it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Very good, people. As you could see, we covered the whole thing in comparisons, not only in the normal comparison, the normal form of comparisons, but also other types of comparisons, right? So guys, this is it. And well, I hope you learned new things. Did you learn new things? So did you, all right. So